What do you think Kyle Shanahan is thinking today? What do you think's going through his temples at this very moment, Howie?
Boy, oh boy. I feel bad for him. I really do. Knowing how it's making it to the Super Bowl is, the equivalent of climbing Mount Everest. And some people falter at base camp 1, 2, 3. When you're in the Super Bowl and you're 7 minutes away from, with a 10-point lead, and, you go back to the Patriots game, I wouldn't say this to me was not as, questionable as, run the ball 3 times versus the Patriots and, you're the Super Bowl champion. And I don't care what the personnel is. I don't care who you have at quarterback. I don't care who you have at wide receiver. And some of that's on the head coach, because the head coach at that point should have said, and, I've talked to Jimmy about this, the head coach should have said, hey, here's what I want to do. I want to run the ball 3 times. Let's get out of here with a win and get it done. Now, this was a little bit more complex, but I'm just not a believer in, when you're running the ball the way they were running the ball, although it was not, you take away the Deebo Samuel, reverse play and, the number goes way down. But still, Kansas City and, talking to their players after the game, they were really happy that San Francisco got away from the run game. And what that does is it puts the onus on Jimmy Garoppolo, who, could end up being a really, great quarterback for them. But at this point, he's not the guy. If you're not running the ball extremely well, you're not running play action pass, and you go back and look at his highlights throughout the course of the season. And I looked at everything, and 98% of it was off play action pass. And there's usually a free runner. And he's really good at that. He missed throws. He missed receivers, didn't see them. The throw he missed downfield to Emmanuel Sanders, here's a guy that, was a great acquisition from a leadership standpoint. It gives them another receiver. When you really think about it, San Francisco really doesn't have a true number one. Deebo Samuel is a really impressive player, but he's not your prototypical number one guy, but he's so versatile, and he's so tough, and he's so hard to bring down after the catch. But Emmanuel Sanders was a good pickup, but he's not a guy who can separate. And here was a situation where he runs through the double coverage, and he's open, and that's game, set, match. And it's a throw that, if you're going to be in that elite category where you're being paid $35 million a year, you got to make.
So do you think that Shanahan is sitting here thinking if Jimmy G's the guy and Lynch is thinking that, or what is their next move here?
I'm not sure what they're thinking, but I think it's pretty, at this point, and Terry and I talked about it a little bit throughout the course of the week, and, riding back in that 2-hour drive back down to South Beach from the stadium, talked a little bit about that. And, he likes Jimmy G, and, and with good reason. I mean, we forget how young he is and how few games he's played.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live, or download The Rich Eisen Show app.